Hashtag Stop Galamsey now still on. Hello, good afternoon. This is the Midday News. The Midday News is live on Joy 99.7 FM and hits 103.9 FM in Accra, on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, and on MikeJoyOnline.com. We are also live in all 16 regions of Ghana, on X Spaces and on Facebook. The Midday News is supported by Petrosol Platinum Energy, energizing dreams. Coming up, the Electoral Commission ordered by an Accra High Court to proceed with the collation and declaration of the disputed in Sawam Adrejiri parliamentary result. To bring you details, also final opportunity for the finance minister to avert a looming government shutdown as Parliament holds its final sitting of the year. The minority has warned of potential jail time if Dr. Hannah Odame fails to present the mini budget today.
The Public Financial Management Act places a responsibility on the finance minister to act on behalf of the president to present the estimate before us. And there are severe penalties for not doing it.
We'll also tell you about the Ghana Education Service, which says it is engaging the West African Examination Council to expedite release of results for candidates who took the 2024 WASSCE examination.
I think that WAEC themselves have already contacted the ministry. So yes, we are sure that the results will be released and will be released possibly before the year ends.
Accident Victim Support Ghana express worry over increasing number of road crashes recorded, as they say number of distress calls increased from an average of 9 per day in the year 2023 to 13 in 2024.
Our office received a minimum of 13 calls for help. Compared to last year, we're receiving about 9-10 calls a day. And it includes those who are in distress. That is our main source of worry now.
We'll tell you about the National Day of Prayers held against accidents ahead of the Christmas festivities.
On our roads, Jesus, taking advantage, Jesus, of purple, Holy Ghost, taking advantage, Jesus, of bad road, Holy Ghost, taking advantage, Holy Ghost, of sport, Jesus, of traffic lights, Jesus, Lord, Holy Ghost, we come again.
Mubarak will bring us the sports.
Yes, and Ghana's Black Galaxy is ready to face Nigeria in the CHAN qualifiers.
And Stonebwoy spent time with premature babies at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital as his being first approaches.
You see the happiness in the place. It's very important. There is a level, we need to, happiness is important as well, and this is a hospital. You can realize that they're taking care of, in quote, sick people.
Details as he promises exciting and surprise performances this Christmas. I'll bring you these and more in this bulletin. I am Hannah Odame. This is Joy News, your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. The details now. A High Court in Accra has directed the Electoral Commission to proceed with the collation and declaration of the parliamentary election results for the Nsawam Adrejiri constituency in the Eastern region. The decision comes after weeks of uncertainty surrounding the outcome of the December 7 polls in the constituency. The ruling, delivered by Justice Reverend Joseph Edu Owusu Ajaman on Friday, 20th December, followed an application filed by the incumbent Member of Parliament for Nsawam Adrejiri. The MP sought the court's intervention to compel the EC to perform its constitutional duty of collating and announcing the results. My colleague Kenneth Jesse of our Legal Affairs Desk joins me in the studio with some more details. What more do you know, Kenneth?
Well, so the presiding judge, Edu Owusu Ajaman, also instructed the Inspector General of Police to ensure adequate security is provided at all the collation centers within the constituency, and this measure is intended to guarantee the safety of all the EC officials and maintain order during the collation process. The Electoral Commission, which was represented by its lead counsel, Justin Manuvo, informed the court that the commission had received the application but chose not to contest it, and then this paved the way for the court to issue its directive without any legal resistance from the EC. Meanwhile, the opposition NDC also sought to join the case through a motion for rejoinder. However, the court declined the request, ruling that the NDC did not have sufficient grounds to be included in the matter.
So we know that there were other constituencies that also had the same issue, about 5 of them.
Yes.
What do you know about that?
Well, the court is still in session, so we are yet to know if those 5 other constituencies will receive the same verdict or otherwise.
Tell us briefly about what we have to know about this particular suit.
Okay, so if our listeners will recall, 6 MPP parliamentary candidates in the 2024 elections filed an application for a judicial review in the form of a mandamus, urging the High Court to compel the Electoral Commission to collate and declare parliamentary results in their respective constituencies and compel the IGP to ensure adequate security at collation centers to enable the EC to carry out its constitutional duties without further disruptions. Now, these candidates represented the MPP in the following constituencies: Tema Central, Nsawema Duejiri, Okaikwe Central, Techiman South, Ablekuma North, and the Ahafuano constituencies. And the 6 candidates claimed that the collation process was disrupted by violent incidents allegedly perpetrated by unidentified individuals at the various collation centers. And then they say that these acts of violence created chaos, which forced the proceedings to a standstill and left the collation incomplete, and efforts to resume the process at the Electoral Commission's Regional Collation Center and subsequently at the Police Training Center or Police Training School in Tesano also failed due to logistical and security challenges. So the applicants argue that the EC's failure to perform its statutory duties not only violates the principles of accountability but also poses a serious threat to the integrity of Ghana's democratic process. So this is a brief background of why we are here today.
Why we're here today, and we believe that you will follow through religiously and bring us updates. Kenneth Jesse is a member of our legal affairs desk. 2 other stories, and the finance minister, Dr. Hannah Odame, has one last opportunity to avert a looming government shutdown today as Parliament prepares to hold its final sitting of the year today. Dr. Hannah Odame has been absent from Parliament for 4 days, leaving the budget for the first quarter of the year in limbo. Without the budget, salaries of workers will not be paid and government will shut down. It's day 5 now, and the MPs have been expecting him to avoid what the minority says has significant consequences for the outgoing finance minister.
The expenditure in advance of appropriations for January to March 2025, the Speaker, can be laid by any member on behalf of the minister responsible for finance. The Speaker, copies are before us. I have a copy. The Speaker, I'm sure you also have a copy. And I think this is not the presentation itself. It's laying of papers. The Speaker, there are occasions, instances that papers have been laid on behalf of a minister of state. In the same vein, we have a minister for tourism before us. The Speaker, he is the available leader, and he's a minister for tourism, a cabinet minister. The Speaker, I urge him to lay it on behalf of the minister responsible for finance. But if you don't want to do it, I can do it on your behalf. The Speaker, I also want to convey to the minister and His Excellency the President that the Constitution places an obligation on the President to present to this House before the year ends expenditure in advance of appropriation for the first 3 months of the year 2025. And this is Article 80. The Speaker, aside that, the PFM Act, the Public Financial Management Act, places a responsibility on the finance minister to act on behalf of the president to present the estimate before us. And there are severe penalties for not doing it. There are severe penalties for not doing it, including a jail term. Severe penalties. So I just want to caution those in office to be aware of the constitutional provision and also to be aware of the PFM Act.
Well, the minority is accusing their MPP colleagues of prioritizing private interests over the mini budget. The majority have asked their NDC colleagues to agree to deal with the tax waivers and loans in return for the expenditure in advance of appropriation. The minority have flatly rejected the street, and with Parliament expected to go on break today, the NDC says they will not allow the tax waivers. Listen to MP for Saboba, Joseph Bukari.
All they want is for us to agree to them to do the tax waivers first, which we are also saying that it will not be proper for us. Now going to the transition, we don't know what exactly is in the ministries. We don't know what exactly the bills are. We don't know what exactly the expenditure, the debts are. And so we cannot continue to be giving goodies to companies that have stayed in this country and have also contributed to this mess that we are in. That will continue to give them tax waivers. Our priority should be, we should get into a point where we do an assessment of ourselves. Thank God that we have a president-elect who says that he wants to reset Ghana. And I believe in him that after 7th January, he will be able to put in place a lot of measures to go through a proper assessment of what the country is at now, and be able to now prioritize where to spend such that we can get going. But if at this point you are leaving office and you still want to continue to give out, I think that we should look at the priority areas and spend there. There's nothing that is more of importance for me to the expenditure in advance of appropriation. That should be where we should be looking at. We have other issues. Especially, we have the transitions bill, we have the parliamentary transitions bill. Those ones, we can look at them because they are necessary. But if you go and you come and look at tax waivers, totaling over $300 million US, my brother, you should be asking yourself that after these elections, are we actually looking at rebuilding our country?
Well, Joseph Bukari says the future John Mahama government will be open to looking at those outstanding government business when it assumes office in January. He insists the current government must prioritize the mini budget. So let's take you live now to the House for the latest there. And our parliamentary affairs correspondent, Kweku Sente, joins us for those details. Kweku, tell us the mood in the House this Friday as we all await the finance minister to present the mini budgets.
Well, so Hannah, MPs are coming in slowly to the chamber. Very few numbers on the floor now. We expect that proceedings will start any moment from now. Today, sitting was expected to start at 11 a.m. As of 11 a.m., there were very few members of Parliament on the floor, but a number of them are coming in now. We expect the Speaker of Parliament also to join in. The big business for the House to transact today is the mini budget. The assurance has been given yesterday on the floor by the Deputy Majority Whip, Habib Idrisu, that Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam will come to Parliament today and present the media budget. As of now, I haven't seen any of his deputies or the Minister of the Finance Ministry or himself or the Chief Director who normally accompany him when set official functions are to be played on the floor of the House. And so he is holding the keys to the big business that the House is going to do today. The Speaker yesterday indicated that if there need be, the House will perhaps sit tomorrow, Saturday, or early next week before they go on break for Christmas. MPs generally have expressed reservation about that because they say this should be the last day. And so if that is to hold and the minister doesn't come, then we are nearing a government shutdown from the 1st of January until or unless the new government comes on the 7th and then puts a document before the House soon afterwards. So the Minister of Finance hasn't arrived, but he's the one we expect because he has the major business the House has to transact today before it goes on break for Christmas.
Whilst we all wait for the finance minister, there's nothing more going on. As you say, the ministers, MPs are arriving.
Well, especially so because the NDC have indicated that they are opposed to the approval of the tax waivers. They say that will create a hole in government financing for John Dramani Mahama's government that will assume office on the 7th of January 2025. So they are not willing to give that in. There's also the matter of $250 million loan. The NDC are opposed to it. Another 140 million euros to purchase some ships. They say that should be left to the incoming government to evaluate and approve. And then also the matter of some two Supreme Court nominees by President Akufo-Addo being vetted. The minority say no to that also. And so without all these business, the only business that the House could do is the mini budget, and that hasn't come. And so when the Speaker comes in, ordinarily they will correct vote and proceedings and official reports. But then in terms of real business, the big business the House expects to do today
is the mini budget.
Great. If it comes or if it doesn't, the House will do some bills and then adjourn for Christmas.
Thank you. First correspondent. Let's move on. And the minority in Parliament is warning of a cholera epidemic if the Akufo-Addo-led government fails to take immediate action. According to the caucus, 123 cases and 15 deaths were reported in the Western region as of December 17th, 2024. This included 15 health workers who were also affected. The ranking member on Parliament's Health Committee, Kwabena Mintah-Akando, criticized what he described as a gross negligence of duty by government using swift intervention to prevent further health crisis before a new administration takes over.
The alarming rates of death linked to cholera infection clearly point to the broader neglect of Ghana's health sector. Poor working conditions for healthcare workers have led to the high attrition rates, while a lack of essential medical consumables have hampered the treatment of admitted patients. The situation is worsening. According to WHO, over 2,039 cholera cases were recorded in November 2024 alone. If the current trend persists, the number will rise even higher. Disturbingly, healthcare workers are also falling victim to the outbreak, with 15 healthcare workers infected while caring for patients in the region. Without immediate and decisive interventions, Ghana risks facing a full-blown cholera epidemic before the incoming administration takes over from the outgoing MPP regime. It is deeply concerning that what could have been a minor cholera outbreak has instead exposed the fragility of our healthcare system. The minority urges government to act swiftly and decisively to address these challenges by ensuring resources are adequately allocated and healthcare workers are provided with the support they need to contain the outbreak.
That was a ranking member on Parliament's Health Committee, Kwabena Mintah-Akando. To some education stories, and the Ghana Education Service says it is in talks with the West African Examination Council, WAEC, to secure the release of the results of candidates who sat the 2024 West Africa Senior High School examination. The results have been on hold owing to what the Examination Council attributes to a debts owed by government. Director of Public Affairs at WAEC, John Kapi, explains, although attempts have been made to implore service providers to the council, releasing the results of the recently organized examinations will further delay, especially as there is no end in sight to when governments will meet their financial obligations.
So far, we have an outstanding debt to be settled of 118 million Ghana cedis. As we speak, no amount of money has been paid to us yet. We are still waiting for the Ministry of Education to release funds for us to be able to go ahead and fix those scanners. This has thrown our work out of gear because we intended that by now would have been processing the results, because as you mentioned earlier, the marking of the scripts is done. That is for the theory and the practical aspect of it. Now, the objective test component is what is outstanding, because we've not been able to fix those machines. We thought that by the 19th of this month, all things being equal, we could release the results before the office would take its Christmas break. So far, we've enjoyed some goodwill from our suppliers in particular, because in our last press statement, we indicated we appealed to them to be patient with us. We would, as soon as monies are released from the ministry, would be able to settle our indebtedness with them.
Well, the Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Dr. Eric Nkansa, has disclosed to Joy News the ministry and the service are in communication with WAEC to ensure that the results are released.
I think that WAEC themselves have already contacted the ministry and the Ghana Education Service. It's been delayed, and it's natural as a body. sometimes they set a target date and for some reason they are not able to meet that date. They well communicate that to the public and to us as a service. So yes, we are sure that the results will be released and will be released possibly before the year ends.
And that's what parents are looking up to. They want the results released before the year ends. Let's listen to spokesperson of the National Council of Parents and Teachers Association, Irene Sam, who is asking the Education Ministry to ensure they expedite action to pave way for WAEC to release the results.
And this is becoming too much. So there are calls from all quarters that what can be done. We are only pleading with the Ministry of Education to do the needful. Okay. Because we parents, we didn't bargain for some of these things. I mean, how did we even end here? How did we end here? That it will come to a point in time that government commitment is not forthcoming, and then our worst resort will be in this kind of situation. It's so stressful and it's so disheartening. So we are not taking it kindly at all.
All right.
But we are pleading with the ministry to do the needful. We want them to act on this issue once and for all. And then also, we are also pleading the new government, the incoming government, that some of these issues is what we have envisaged. So we have of the free senior high school policy, the commitments of government that cannot be fulfilled. Let us be in the know that we can also see how best we can support. Education is a shared responsibility, and no one government can do it all. So we are willing to support government in this regard.
You heard there Irene Sam. She's a spokesperson of the National Council of Parents and Teachers Association. You are still listening to the Midday News live on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra and on our affiliates. Stories gone by. The Electoral Commission has been ordered by High Court in Accra to proceed with the collation and declaration of the disputed in Sawama-Dredri parliamentary result. And final opportunity for the Finance Minister to avert a looming government shutdown as Parliament holds its final sitting of the year today. We heard from Kweku Asante. When we come back, Accident Victim Support Ghana is worried over increasing number of road crashes recorded, as they say the number of distress calls increased from an average of 9 per day in the year 2023 to 13 in the year 2024.
Our office received a minimum of 13 calls for help. Compared to last year, we're receiving about 9-10 calls a day. And it includes those who are in distress. That is our main source of worry now.
We'll also tell you about Stoneboy. He spent time with the premature babies at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital as his beam first approaches. He's also promising exciting and surprise performances this Christmas.
You see the happiness in the place. It's very important. There is a level, we need to, happiness is important as well, and this is a hospital. You can realize that they're taking care of, in quote, sick people.
Where did I? Now I don't know many I just saw.
Obiang, what you call her? And to want to say petrol supper energizing drinks for motion. Hey boy.
Petrosol are celebrating their 10 years in grand style. They're giving back to their loyal customers. Hope you have registered at their online portal. Don't say I didn't tell you, oh.
Each month, customers will stand a chance of winning items like tricycles, motorcycles, television sets, refrigerators, phones, fuel vouchers, and many more. But the best part is that at the end of the promo, we will be giving out a grand prize of 2 Suzuki Espresso cars to lucky winners who stay with us all through the promo period. All you need to join is to visit any of our over 100 stations across the country to get registered, or go to www.petrosolcrm.com to register online.
Petrosol, energizing dreams. Get ready for another exciting and memorable time with the family as we bring you yet another fun-packed edition of the Joy FM Family Party in the Park.
Set in the Ebri Botanical Gardens, families will once again be treated to lots of bonding and fun activities such as cooking competitions, tag of peace, sack race, musical chairs, dancing competitions, and so much more.
Guess what? We're taking it a notch higher this year. There will be a whole food village where some of your favorite food brands will be present, so you don't need to bother about food at all.
And the new Games Village will be lit with assorted 3D games, FIFA, and many others. This Christmas, Santa will be there with his bag of goodies for the family.
That's not all. Kamido, Kwampa, Kwabena, and many other artists will mount the stage to light up the party.
The Joy FM Family Party in the Park is simply the place to be for families this Christmas.
Mark the date, 26th of December 2024.
Ebri Botanical Gardens, 10 a.m. sharp. Tickets are going for only 200 Ghana cedis for a family of 6.
To purchase your ticket, use the short code *714*003*3#. Select Party in the Park and follow the prompt.
The Joy FM Family Party in the Park is brought to you by Phyto Cooking Oil. You deserve a life of goodness. Fortune Low Fat Spread for Bread. Always on point. DBS Roofing Industry, your roof experts. Velton's Beer, distributed by Kingdom Books and Stationery. Aquaba Bottled Mineral Water. Day by Day Men, distributed by Dream Cosmetics. Joy FM Family Party in the Park, creating memorable family moments.
Welcome back, and Mubarak brings us the sports.
Yes, and also Ghana's home-based team, the Black Galaxies, will take on Nigeria in the first leg of the African Nations Championship qualifiers. The match will take place at the Accra Sports Stadium on Sunday, and Ghana coach Didi Dramani is confident of victory.
We are playing against one of the best countries in terms of football in Africa, and Ghana is equally a very important and then a very quality side when it comes to African football, and so the chances are very bright, and that's what we are doing. We are trying to put in place a team. We are trying to put the process of building and then be able to have that cohesion and then that fluidity of the way we want to play.
Yeah, that's the head coach of the Black Galaxies, Didi Dramani.
Thank you for the sports news. The Accident Victim Support Ghana is expressing concern over the increase in the number of road crashes recorded in the year 2024 alone. According to the organization, which is focused on giving care to accident victims, the number of distress calls received this year increased to an average of 13 per day. That's compared to the 9 they received in the year 2023. The executive director of the NGO, Juliet Osei-Kranting, made this revelation at a prayer and awareness creation campaign at the VIP station here in the national capital. Prince Kwame Kuduga was there. His report read to you.
According to data from the National Road Safety Authority, 1,237 people died from road crashes between January and June 2024. Executive Director of the Accident Victim Support Ghana, Juliet Osei-Kranting, says the situation is worrying.
Our office received a minimum of 13 calls for help. Compared to last year, we're receiving about 9-10 calls a day. And it includes those who are in distress. That is our main source of worry now.
Road safety campaigner Reverend Cyril Crabb urged drivers to be extra cautious, especially during the Christmas festivities.
Going into this festive season, but we must also be on the lookout for these things. We need to maintain our cars. Overspeeding is another cause, because for cashing in, drivers would want to overspeed on our roads, to rush in and rush out. This is the time that you don't even have to think of rushing in, because you will still make your money. Have car maintenance, lower your speed, and we are good to go.
Drivers who took part in the session spoke to Joy News.
When you are tired, sell the car. When I'm tired, I'm giving to my friend a spare driver to go and come, so that next year we can see the driver. You're a car when I can see your car and your friend.
Prayers were said against road accidents on Ghanaian roads ahead of the Christmas holidays. Prince Kwame Kuduga's report for Joy News.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. On our roads, Jesus, taking advantage. Jesus.
And Jackie is here with What's trending? You'll have to tell me
Yes.
about the 1983 hangar because I know there's something in there for us.
Yes, so officially, Multimedia Group Limited has signed an MOU with AI Media, and they are the producers of the Omogana Man for Chop. It's a documentary that dives into the repatriation of Ghanaians, from Nigeria in 1983 and the hunger and all that, which is expected to air next year, February 2025.
Hey, were you born by then?
I wasn't born, but I
know
want
the
to learn
story.
more about that. But then away from that,
Yeah.
Stone Boy did a donation to premature babies at Ridge Hospital as part of his activities leading to his Beam Festival this weekend. And Hannah, I'm sure you are getting ready for that. But first of all, let's take a listen to Stone Boy.
We responded to a call of one of our sisters over here. If I say sister, I mean a sister from the hospital, and then we came around to actually do some donations, and I am willing to continue to partner with the Stoneboy brand and the Livingston Foundation, also create more advocacy. We're going to crown it up on the 22nd, Sunday. We have the big festival coming up, which is the Beam Festival, that continues to cement the bridge between Caribbean and African music in terms of culture, arts, and entertainment. Surprise artists from Jamaica who are in already, from legendary to, Davido, big Afrobeat star from Africa. So you can understand that I only want to bring the best to the consumers of Ghana.
Jackie.
Yes, Stone Boy. I'm actually rapping on Sunday.
Ooh.
Yes, you should be there. He says there's a surprise artist from Jamaica.
I want to see that surprise.
Yes.
That's it for the Midday News live on Joy 99.7 FM and affiliates across the country. Thanks for staying with us. Living Word with Dr. Mensah Rotabel comes up next. I am Hannah Odame.